If you don't understand these 5 people, 2026 will pass, and your life will remain exactly the same, so stay with me till the end, because what you're about to hear might shock you, shake you, and maybe even save your life from becoming another forgotten dream. And before we begin, remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because this one story might be the turning point you've been waiting for. In a small town where everyone seemed to be fighting their own hidden battles, a young man named Ian lived with a fire inside him that he could never fully explain. It was a constant burning, a quiet voice telling him he was meant for more than the ordinary life he saw around him. But every time he tried to move forward, it felt like invisible ropes pulled him back. His father worked at a small shop, his mother sewed clothes late into the night, and Ian, despite working 2 part-time jobs, earned barely enough to help them survive. Every evening, as he walked home through dimly lit streets, he would listen to motivational speeches, especially Jack Ma's words, hoping that one day, something would spark inside him strong enough to change everything. He didn't know that his transformation would come from observing 5 very different people, 5 people whose mindsets silently trapped them in the same place, year after year. Their lives would teach him more than any classroom ever could. The first person was his friend Ryan, good-hearted but forever stuck in the "I'll start tomorrow" cycle. Ryan had dreams, big ones, but they lived only in his voice, never in his actions. Ian remembered the countless nights they sat on the rooftop discussing business ideas, online opportunities, and goals that felt exciting enough to wake their souls. But every morning, Ryan would say, "Bro, I'm tired today. Tomorrow I'll start." Tomorrow came and went. Months passed. Then a year. And one evening in late 2025, as Ian visited Ryan's house, he heard him telling someone on a call that life was unfair, that luck never reached their town, that success belonged only to people in big cities. Ian watched in silence, realizing that Ryan wasn't waiting for tomorrow, he was hiding from it. And in that moment Ian understood the first truth: the first person who stays poor is the one who never starts. The second person who unknowingly shaped Ian's journey was his neighbor, a talented carpenter named Samir. Samir was brilliant. He could create furniture so beautiful that strangers would stop and stare when passing his workshop. But one day, a wealthy customer complained about one piece, leaving a harsh review online. That single blow shattered Samir's confidence. He began to avoid orders, telling everyone he was taking a break. Weeks faded into months, and Ian would see him sitting outside the workshop, staring at the tools he once loved. Samir had allowed one failure to defeat him entirely. Watching him, Ian understood the second truth: people stay poor when one failure becomes their identity, when they let a single moment define an entire life. The third person was Ian's cousin, a man who blamed everyone but himself. Whenever something went wrong, he blamed the government, the weather, relatives, old school teachers, the city, the country, every possible thing except his own habits. Ian saw him one morning complaining loudly about not having opportunities, blaming others for his struggles while simultaneously wasting hours scrolling through videos, refusing to learn any new skill, and ignoring every chance to grow. That day, Ian saw the third truth crystal clear: people stay poor when they blame instead of building. The fourth person was a girl from Ian's community named Sarah. She was bright and full of potential, but she chased fast money, always falling for schemes that promised overnight success. Crypto scams, fake investment gurus, get-rich-quick courses, she tried them all. Each time she lost money, she would say, "This next one will make me rich fast." And every time, she fell deeper. One night, she came to Ian crying, holding her head in her hands, saying she wished she had spent that time learning a real skill instead of chasing illusions. From her, Ian learned the fourth truth: people stay poor when they seek shortcuts instead of skills. And the final person who changed his life was his own uncle, an older man who refused to learn anything new. He rejected technology, avoided new ideas, and proudly said, "I'm too old to learn all this modern stuff." He didn't realize that the world had already moved forward and left him behind. One day, he lost his job because the company shifted to digital tools he refused to learn. Ian watched him sit on the rooftop that night, staring into the distance, whispering, "If only I had adapted, if only I had learned." In that moment, Ian understood the fifth truth: people stay poor when they stop learning. These 5 people weren't villains, they were lessons, living examples of what happens when the mind becomes a cage. Ian slowly realized that poverty is not only in the pocket, it begins in the mindset. And so, on the last night of 2025, Standing under the cold sky, Ian made a decision, one that felt like drawing a line between his past and future. He whispered to himself that he would not be one of the 5. He would start, no matter how small. He would fail, but never quit. He would take responsibility, not blame. He would build slowly, not chase shortcuts. He would learn every day, even when it was hard. Over the next months, his life began to change. He studied digital skills late at night. He watched business courses on borrowed Wi-Fi. He offered to do small online tasks for free, gaining experience. Slowly, he started earning. Not much at first, but enough to fuel belief. Then more, and more. By mid-2026, he was running a small digital service that clients appreciated for its honesty, consistency, and quality. His confidence grew, his world grew, his future grew, and whenever someone asked him how he did it, he simply said, "I stopped being one of the 5." And now as this story comes to an end, if Ian's journey touched you, inspired you, or reminded you of who you can become, then take a moment, like this video and subscribe to the channel, because True Kindness Tales brings you stories that can change your heart, your mind, and maybe even your destiny. Remember, 2026 will not change your life, unless you change first. Don't be one of the 5. Be the one who rises.